Gentleman yields back. Chair recognizes Ms. Greene.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for being here today, Mr. Dodaro, and congratulations on your upcoming retirement. You know, for the past 4 years, Democrats have been in control of basically all government functions for the American people. We are at $36 trillion in debt, and the lies are getting to be outrageous. Just listen to one of my colleagues talk about Medicaid. The truth is, for people watching at home, your Medicaid benefits cannot get cut unless the governor of your state and the state cuts your benefits. That's the real truth. Republicans here in Washington, here in Congress, we are not taking away anyone's Medicaid benefits. As a matter of fact, we're trying to cut out improper payments. We're trying to cut out fraud. At my DOGE subcommittee, I had a hearing just 2 weeks ago where we talked about improper payments. It is unbelievable, and I'm sure you would agree, Mr. Dodaro, that the amount of money that's being paid to dead people, to foreigners, to criminals, to terrorists is amounting in the billions and billions of dollars every single year. That's what Democrats and Republicans should be agreeing on. We should be able to come together and say, let's stop this immediately. Another thing that I find outrageous is that Democrats under the Biden administration passed $7.5 billion in spending to build 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations all over the country, whether Americans wanted them or not. But only 8 of these electric vehicle charging stations even got built. I think that should have been in your top 25 list, because where's that money? Honestly, where is that money? That's a great question. Some other things that I'd like to bring up to you here is GOA estimates that total fraud in these programs for unemployment insurance, and you were just talking about it, during the pandemic is at least $60 billion. Americans all over the country will never forget that Democrats shut our country down, shut our businesses down. People got fired. Their churches was closed. All their rights were taken away, and $60 billion from the Department of Labor. The Department of Labor has still not developed an anti-fraud strategy, even though $60 billion is missing. Also, the Medicare program and scale of Medicare spending is innately high risk, with the program spending an estimated $1 trillion in 2024. Of that, in fiscal year 2024, we saw roughly, I'll go back to improper payments again, $54.3 billion in improper payments. And we have Democrats crying over Elon Musk. Are you kidding me? The American people, the polling is out, 72% Democrats and Republicans support DOGE. Support it, 72%. They are not upset about anything that Elon Musk is doing. As a matter of fact, they're happy. They want their 50, they want all these improper payments, all of this waste, they want it back. Now, here's what's really interesting to me. Despite this significant progress made since GOA's 2023 high-risk update, thank you for that, USPS remains unable to fund its services and employee obligations. That's outrageous. Private companies have to be able to fund everything they do, but the United States Postal Service still can't do it. Now, the big one, the Department of Defense Financial Management first appeared on the high-risk list in 1995. 1995. Hey, I graduated from high school in 1992. That's a long time ago. Now, and it remains on this list 28 years later. 28 years later, Congress hasn't fixed this. The Department of Defense hasn't fixed this. And last year, the Pentagon, with a budget of around $850 billion, failed its 7th straight audit. What are we doing? What are we doing? We should be at the most bipartisan time in history where Republicans and Democrats can come together and say the American people's money is being stolen, it is being lost, it is outright treason to treat the American people this way. Mr. Dodaro, I'm sorry. Let me ask you this question. And I would feel, I can't imagine all the things you all have seen in your work. Do you disagree with the effort of DOGE?
There's probably nobody in the government that wants the government to be more efficient and effective than we do at the GAO, and I do personally. That's our job, to help do that, and we've worked many, many years in order to bring about those changes. So yes. Now, there's a couple of bipartisan things that you touched on that I think you and your committee, this committee, could do. One is we've recommended that they make, in order to stop paying dead people, the Social Security master death file is given to Treasury, but only for a 3-year period. They've already saved millions of dollars. Congress needs to make it permanent. You could save hundreds of millions of dollars if that's done.
Can I get information from your team
Absolutely.
afterward? Okay, that'd be
Absolutely.
great.
And
what about identity verification?
Identity verification needs to be more automated, and we have recommendations for that to occur in the unemployment insurance area. Actually, the unemployment insurance estimate on fraud we made was $100 billion to $135 billion.
Wow.
The other thing that could be done on a bipartisan basis is that the statute of limitations to go after the fraudsters needs to be extended from 5 to 10 years. Congress did it for the Paycheck Protection Program, but not for unemployment insurance. It's almost due to expire. So if Congress doesn't act soon, some of the fraudsters are likely to get away because they'll be outside the statute of limitations. So those things are really important. And I think should be bipartisan.
I agree. I think my time's up. Thank you, Mr. Dodaro.
Thank you. And ranking member pointed out, we've gone over a little bit on the last two on our side. If someone feels the need to go over, I'm keeping up with the time, so we'll make it all work out. Chair recognizes Mr. Subramaniam. Oh, Ms. Brown. Chair recognizes Ms. Brown.
Thank you, Chairman Comer, and thank you to Mr. Dodaro for joining us today. This administration claims to care about rooting out waste